understand what you're saying. No.
There it is.
Let's hear it.
Well, let's hear it.
Talk to us. Uh-oh.
Beadle and Decker, taking on sports talk like no one else. Michelle Beadle,
I'm just helping. I'm helping America one by one.
Cody Decker.
I 100% believe in revenge. Revenge is a great thing.
Back to the sports.
Back and ready for more.
Every time I tune them out, they pull me back in.
It's Beadle and Decker. Here's Michelle and Cody.
Hello, everybody. It is an incredible Friday. That's right, a Friday live here from sunny Southern California. I am Cody Decker. Welcome to Beadle and Decker, live as always, Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm Cody Decker. No Michelle Beadle today, and no Michelle Beadle on Monday either, because Michelle Beadle will be rejoining the show on Wednesday. She's got some vacationing to do. Very important stuff for that, Michelle Beadle. So today on a Friday, really excited to bring in my guy. He is my former co-host over there at the BetMGM network. We ran a show for 4 years together called Bet for the Cycle. It was the single greatest gambling show that has ever existed in the history of mankind. And I am including Keith Irizarry's Incredible Bettor's Eye. He is a three-time broadcaster of the year in South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, your friend, everyone's friend, Rob Brown. How you doing, my handsome friend?
Cody Decker, you glorious, handsome son of a gun. I couldn't be better. Thanks for having me back. It's been too long. I miss it. And I'm going to go one step further. It wasn't the greatest gambling show of all time. It was just the greatest show of all time. Sit down, Ricky Lake. It was all about Deck and Robbie.
Wow, Ricky Lake. That was not my first choice. You know what's funny? Actually, God, was it Ricky Lake? Remind me, who was the one that played the lead in Hairspray in the 80s? Was that one Ricky Lake? No, that wasn't Ricky Lake. That was the other one. God, I always get the daytime conversation people confused with each other. There was Ricky Lake. There, which one starred in the 80s version of Hairspray? Was that Ricky Lake?
I don't know that I've ever seen the 80s version.
She was heavy. She was thin. Like,
it was Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake. Okay, thank you. I got a story for you about Ricky Lake, because I one time hit on Ricky Lake really hard. It was awesome. So this was in circa 2006. Your boy was a sophomore in college, and my mom was an executive for, thank you, Swaggy McNolegs. Hairspray was Ricky Lake. Thank you. So I'm at an event called the Trevor Foundation, which has this huge event every single Christmas in Los Angeles, big comedy event. And we always had these huge, like my mom's foundation had these big seats in the front that somehow I just got to be commandeer and sit in. It was always a great time to sit in these seats. So one time, Rob Brown, it comes around that Ricky Lake is presenting an award, and Ricky Lake looks astonishingly pretty. Well, Ricky Lake comes over to your boy after the words and starts hitting on me at the bar. I go to town because obviously it's Ricky Lake, and I obviously want to hit on Ricky Lake. And you know what? God bless my mother so much, because she got right in there and tried to wingman like you wouldn't believe for me. It was a really interesting night. I got hit on by two very specific people. I got hit on by Ricky Lake, and I got hit on by Michelle. Is it Michelle Hudson? Oscar winner, Dreamgirls?
I think that's right. Listen,
Melissa Hudson?
I don't care about that. I need to
it.
try to figure out what the gift of gab on the spawn of Cody Decker and Ricky Lake would have been. You might have had the greatest talker in the history of microphones if the two of you would have made a little baby Lake Decker.
Baby Lakes. Just a lot of baby lakes. Just a lot of finger lakes all out there, man. That's all I'm saying. No, dude, I'm telling you, she looked amazing that night. And sadly, it didn't work out. It's Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, Jennifer Hudson. She wanted to get on a chair to speak, to sing to the crowd, and I helped her. I got off my chair, and I helped her up to my chair, and then she grabbed onto my shoulder, and she's like, ooh. I'm like, I'm having a day, man. Your boy's having a day. I was 21 years old, and I was having a day.
How do I live in a world where Cody Decker was macking on Ricky Lake, getting macked on by Jennifer Hudson, and yet here he is stuck on a computer screen with my ugly ass? What went wrong, Deck?
A lot. Oh, my God. So much has gone wrong. I can't even begin to tell you. But, I didn't see it at the time. I was a young man. I thought my future was bright. I thought there was going to be plenty of Ricky Lakes. There have been.
And yet, he's still here sitting next to my ugly ass on the internet, people. Somebody wingman for this guy.
Whoa, excuse me. Your boy does have a lady friend at the moment, and I'm feeling very good about that said moment. That being said, dude, I've had some interest. I'm not going to sit here and say like I have some sort of Rolodex of celebrities. I do not. It's not some sort of Rolodex of people I've hooked up with that are like, oh my god, yeah, Oscar winners. Oh my god, Golden Globe nominees. No. Actually, there is a Golden Globe nominee in there. I'll tell you about it someday. Actually, you know about it, which is funny, Rob Brown. But I will tell the world about it at some point because she talked about it. I guess if she talked about it on a TV show, I guess I could talk about it at some point.
Hey, one time I went home with a girl that had one arm. So like I don't know if that puts me in the same like realm, but like it was interesting.
Oh, and by the way, you gotta love. I love our listeners. I love our viewers because they always want to go. Michelle, I think, has been trying to like make hints because I am a very fairly woke individual, and I appreciate and fight for LGBTQ rights and their right to exist. Michelle loves to make fun of me every once in a while because she's like, "Aren't you just probably gay? It's almost like you should have been gay, and they didn't flip the final switch as you went out." And you're probably right about that. But I love this. Aaron Rodgers has a wife too, I heard. Thank you, Tavia.
That's really good. That's really good. I don't hate
hurtful.
it. First off,
Hurtful.
I would also like to point out, I've gotten the opportunity to run around New York City with Cody Decker a couple of times. And I'm just going to say, if you think that telling a fella that he's got a little style, a little charm, and some good look about him is somehow a bad thing, you're missing out, kids. You're missing out.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice to each other. You might make somebody's day, dude. Rob Brown, you know what I really like? I like how well put together your beard is today. It looks good. I'm also liking the hairdo at the moment. Now, I am a big fan of Rob Brown with a slightly little more mop top because if you can grow it, you might as well show it. But, dude, I'm liking this tight little fit for you, bro.
Yeah, I got a real job, Cody Decker. I got a real office 8 to 5. Got to wear collars and like jackets and stuff. Here's what I'm doing. I'm giving them 6 months where I pretend like I give a damn. And then it's all coming back.
Okay, that a baby. Smart man. You gotta play the hits. Yeah. By the way, Rob Brown, I just hinted at because I've never mentioned the my celebrity Rolodex, quote unquote, that is of people I've hooked up with, and I did mention there is one that is out there that I definitely will start talking about. I'm waiting for another job to come around before I reveal that because it's just going to be too much fun to just throw out on the internet.
And I'll let people know, I don't think this is going too far behind the curtain. Deck and I, we were randomly paired together as co-hosts 5 and some change years ago. And then over the 4.5 years we did a show together, we've become dear friends. I've traveled to New York to see Deck. Deck was at my wedding in St. Augustine a couple of years ago.
Wedding.
Deck texted me the night of particular story, which when he reveals this information, you'll all go, oh, I remember that. Deck texted me one night and went, this story's about me. And I went, brother, shut your damn mouth. And then he sent me the evidence and proof of that. And I need you to know. And this is not even a joke. I was sitting on my couch. It was me, Decker, and our former producer all in a group chat at the time. And when he sent me the evidence and the proof, I took my phone and I just chucked it across the room and sank in the couch. And my wife goes, why the hell did you do that? And I said, I gave her the reason, and she went, there's no effing way. And I went, I don't know what to tell you. Like this, you're all going to enjoy the story is all I'm going to say for this particular moment.
I will tell you this story has been brought out, but you don't know what the story is. You don't know it's about me. But can I tell you one thing that was really funny? And I will tell this story fully at some point, but I'll just give it this breakdown. It was written in the New York Post, this particular story, but of course not mentioning who the guy was. And I'm reading this story, and my girlfriend at the time, it was like 6 a.m. and we're lying in bed. We're not doing anything. And I was just sleeping, and she's on her phone, like reading some stuff. I don't know what she's doing. And then she rolls over and she has in her phone this article, and she shows it to me. It's like, thank God that's not you, huh? I went white as a ghost, and she just said, "Oh no, fucking no! Please tell me no." I'm like, here's the thing. Anyways, clearly we're not together anymore.
I'm not gonna say worth it for the story. I'm not gonna say worth it for the story.
It's a good story, and soon you guys will hear about it. Just gotta wait a little bit longer, but trust me, it'll be worth it. By the way, before we get to anything, one of our good listeners and favorite people, Jeets22, Cody, give me some advice. Going through a divorce, body like a bag of milk, make good money, kind of funny, tough times, man. All right, let's start with this. I'm going to start with, I will freely admit, I am not a guy that should be giving all of the advice in the world. I'm an idiot. I freely admit that. But I have had a very, very significant and interesting amount of experiences that I do think are fairly unique. So I am willing to mention a couple of things. For instance, I too have gone through a divorce. It was a very unfun time of my life. And all I could say about that is simply this. Just get through it, buddy. It gets better. Like the moment my divorce was over, it was like the moment my life began again. Like my actual life, my work life was actually fantastic, but my personal life was like put on this endless pause. And I understand how frustrating that is. Body like a bag of milk, buddy. I think everybody can say they've been through that at some points. Even when I was going through my divorce, I probably fluctuated between 10 to 15 to 20 pounds nonstop. It was a nightmare. The only thing you make good money. That's fantastic. You are not kind of funny, Jeets. I see your quotes all the time on here. You're funny as hell. I don't know what to tell you other than this. You just got to get through it. And what works for me at all times, and Rob Brown, by all means, chime in. It's developing a routine. Like once you start and commit to a daily routine, whether it's something as simple as I'm going to get on my bike for 15 minutes. I'm going to go and walk for a 20-minute thing just to get some exercise that way. Or ride my bike to the gym and spend an hour at the gym to start the day. It could be anything. Just start a daily routine where you hit like 3 points throughout the day. And I really think that just kind of starts to simplify life a little bit. It's what that honestly, being in New York City, I know this sounds insane. It should have been more chaotic, but it wasn't. Being in New York City with the chaos really helped me regiment my life a lot.
I'm gonna echo that. I'm not gonna go down the road of a routine because I'm quite the opposite. Like I'm a person who thrives on spontaneity. I'm a person that you text at 8:30 at night and go, "Yo, band starts at 9, or you win," and I'm absolutely slamming 6 brewskis to pregame it and hitting the bar with you. Here's what I will say: go find your people, man. Like, and I know when you're going through a breakup because I went through before I moved here to Greenville, South Carolina, and I went through a gnarly breakup. Caught a girl that I thought I was going to marry in bed with another dude. When I say another dude, like big, rich, thick, jacked guy. Like it's one of those moments where you find your girl banging another dude and you're like, damn it, she upgraded, right? Like I got nothing on this cat. There's nothing, like, I get it. I understand. Moved here. I'm going to tell you to do 2 things. Number 1, find a hobby you love. Mine was fixing up my motorcycle and going motorcycle riding in the mountains. Number 2, find a way to work out. It doesn't have to become like a CrossFit warrior thing. I mean, just go to the gym and do a little cardio, feel better. Number 3, find your people. Go talk to people. But here's the part that I emphasize. Don't talk, listen. Meet people, ask them questions, get curious, and let them talk to you. Once you find your people, platonically to start, once you find your people, you will naturally fall into the groove that will pull you up out of the funk. I guarantee it. I did that here when I got to Greenville. I forced myself to do it. And when I did, I ended up finding the girl I am now married to and have never been happier. I promise you, get curious, listen to other people, and you will find your people. Damn, I didn't know we were going to get up philosophical up in this bitch.
Me neither. But you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here to help the people. And I can't stress this enough. Yeah, I love that. Go out, talk to people. And when I say talk to people, you want to be Steve Carell at the end of Crazy Stupid Love, not the beginning of Crazy Stupid Love. That just throwing that out there too. You don't want to go to the bar and or to a place and constantly do the woe is me thing. You can be woe is me. Absolutely be in there. But talk to people, like Rob said, listen to people and see what happens. All right, Rob Brown, let's get to the sports of it all. The WBC is the best. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. It is the fucking best. God, it's the best. Rob Brown, why is this the best?
Look, first off, I did see somebody tweet the other day, and I thought it was great. For one night, the United States of America was watching a bunch of Italian Americans play a bunch of Mexican Americans to find out if a bunch of Americans were going to play those Americans in the second round. Here's what I'll say. First off, Cody Decker, the Olympics, I remind people of this every time it rolls around. We're 3 months away from the World Cup. Can't wait. You slap the stars and stripes on a jersey, I'll watch some bitches pay tiddlywinks if it's international competition and absolutely love it. All right? Absolutely love it. But the WBC is great because even if only half of Team USA actually follows this, you can tell when you watch Venezuela. You can tell when you watch Italia. You can tell when you watch the Dominican Republic. You can tell when you watch a Cuban team. These guys give a shit, dude. Like this matters to them. It's the same vibe as the Olympics. And I think that we have gotten to a point, and I know this conversation's floating around the NBA extensively right now, that there are times where in our domestic professional sports league, it can feel like the athletes don't really give a shit sometimes. Like they're just out there to get paid, make that money, go home, bag a couple of tens and call it a night. But when a good chunk, I would say most of the international clubs and at least some percentage of the Americans pull the crest, pull that star and stripe or whatever their national badge is on the chest and go play, it matters, Deck. It is baseball to me at the purest you're going to find outside of going down to your local Little League park, man. Like, it's just guys who are genuinely representing something. And, oh, yeah, they're all pretty damn good, too, right? Like, I can go watch the passion of love of the game at my local Little League park, but at the end of the day, that's Little Leaguers. These are the best in the world. I don't care if the guy is an electrician out there popping 4 scoreless for the checks or whatever. At the end of the day, that's the best that they've got. And he's one of the best 1% of guys throwing a baseball off a bump anywhere on the planet. You give me that talent and the one time where I can look and say, these guys actually care about the banner, you're going to get a great product. It's even in a down year for the WBC, which I've heard people call this, and I disagree with them. Even if it's not going to lead, and maybe it does, but even if it doesn't lead to the fireworks we got with the Trout-Ohtani showdown 3 years ago, it's still producing drama, even if that drama is caused by Team USA's manager being a dipshit. Even if that's the reason for the drama, it's still giving it to us.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get to that. Don't you worry. We got plenty to do about that, but you did mention Italy. We'll get to Italy as well. I just want to start with this. If you think we're alone in loving the WBC, because I hear me. I know I'm a baseball homer. I'm an ex-pro baseball player. I know that I try to support baseball in any possible way. I do. But I also admit when baseball is bad. I try to be very, very honest and measured. Trust me, I call out Major League Baseball when it's shit better than just about anyone in the world. Why do you think I don't have a full-time fucking job there? Because I just can't help myself. Every time I'd go on MLB Network, I'd get a phone call from somebody fucking irate because I had the balls to say something honest about baseball on that fucking channel. Anyway, speaking of that fucking channel, before we get to the DeRosa of it all, I'm not the only one that loves this tournament. Rob Brown's not the only one that loves this tournament. You know who else loves this tournament? Fucking everybody. Look at these attendance records. Like, we're setting attendance records in just pool play over what used to be for the entire tournament. We're setting ratings records. That Mexico versus U.S. game in pool play, I might add you. No elimination round, no nothing. Straight up pool play garnered 6 million viewers. That's an NBA playoff territory. That's Major League Baseball playoff territory. That's big ass numbers in the month of March for Major League Baseball, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the reality is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the show, specifically when we get to our reflections. At the end of the day, sports fans globally, we love 2 things more than we love anything else. Number one, we love when the team that we watch represents us, right? Like, that's why most of us, we adopt our team, or we are given our team when we are kids, and we stick with that team through our whole lives because it becomes a representation of ourselves. And here's the thing. If a team stops being a representation of you, that's when people switch teams, right? Like that's when you go, I can't be a Jets guy anymore because I can't be represented as a loser the rest of my life. The second thing that we love, Deck, is we love the sport, man. Like the sport. We love the sport. And we want people who love the sport the way that we love the sport. The lockout back in the 90s of Major League Baseball, I was 13 years old when it happened. And I've never been the same. I'm obviously still a baseball fan, but I never really rebounded as a baseball fan from that lockout because it punched me in the heart as a kid when I recognized the guys out there and the people who run these clubs, they're not doing it because they love baseball. They're doing it because it's a job. And I was watching baseball because I loved baseball. Well, when these guys throw on the Italy cap, the Mexico cap, the Czech hat, the Cuba hat, the Venezuela cap, the Dominican cap, the U.S. cap, most of them are playing in this event because they love baseball and they want to go win this tournament and represent whatever it is that cap means to them when they pull it on. And that, to me, it kind of feels like a universal draw globally.
Yeah. And it's awesome. It just is. But I want to harp on something you just said that I like to point out. When you say they go out there and they represent you, I heard that, but that said something different to me. You know, you throw on the stars and stripes and they represent you. Do you mean arrogant? Do you mean full on outrageous arrogance? Is that what you're referring to, Rob Brown? Because if there's one thing, and I'm not saying this team, USA, is not amazing. Look at the lineup. 1 through 9, incredible. That is, of course, if Mark DeRosa wants to take it seriously this day. I don't know what to say other than arrogance. Well, here's what he had to say after winning game 2 against Mexico, because this just comes off as a little arrogant.
They're probably playing video games and hanging out, but to see it, we played in a different time where we were staying in the clubhouses till wee hours of the morning, just having a few beers and talking the game. So that has been the most enjoyable part of this for us, just kind of bringing the entire group together. I mean, that not only that ended up on the bus, that ended up back at the hotel. There's some guys dragging today. Bobby can attest.
Oh, what happened that night, Rob Brown? Just curious. What happened that night? Guys were dragging, huh? A little hungover? Get too excited to beat Mexico? Were they hungover for the game where you got your ass kicked by Italy? Oh, what else did you say that morning? Don't worry, Rob Brown. I got it for you. Here he is on MLB Hot Stove.
Got 9 bodies ready to roll today, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to get some guys off their feet. No question about it. I'd like to get Goldie a start. And, he has been awesome. Just a leader of men behind the scenes with Aaron Judge. I'd like to get him in there. I'd like to get Gunnar in there again. Ton of respect for Italy. It's weird. We want to win. We want to win this game, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals, because Mexico plays Italy actually tomorrow. So this.
First thing first, he clearly knows the rules now, or kind of knows the rules now, because you heard him right there. He later said, well, I misspoke, I absolutely knew the calculations, yada, yada, yada. And then it comes to, of course, Italy takes care of everything. They ended up winning. In fact, they didn't even need to win. What they needed to do is score 5 runs. 5 runs clinched it for the U.S., and they did. Congratulations. So much so that it led to this wonderful quote from the Pasquatch.
You're welcome, USA.
You're welcome, USA. And more importantly, you're welcome, Mark DeRosa. Now, this could have been done and over with because, listen, he messed up. All he had to do was just kind of fall on the sword, say, listen, I messed up. That's on me. We'll move forward. We'll get this. That cannot happen. I need to hold myself to a higher standard. Rob Brown, that's not what Mark DeRosa fucking did, is it?
No,
it's
not.
Let's go to Mark DeRosa talking about whose fault this really is. Our fault. The media. It's our fault. Not you fucking not knowing the rules. Us creating was it false narrative?
About the timeline of when all the tiebreakers became clear to you?
Yeah, it's just an overly confident statement on Hot Stove, period, the end. And it's my fault. I felt good about where we were after Mexico. Listen, us hanging out in the clubhouse is everything I ever dreamed of creating. You got to buy into this thing super quick and try and create a team. And for those players to invite the coaches in and for us to spend time together and enjoy a huge win that we hadn't had in 20 years was something that go out and play well against Italy. They played a hell of a game. They smacked us in the mouth early. They got up big. We went into that game prepared to win it. I think there's a couple false narratives out there, but no, I was well aware that we had to win that game based on all the scenarios that could take place. I mean, they went in 2-0, we went in 2-0. We knew they were playing Mexico the next day. We knew there was tiebreaker rules involved. So I can understand.
Just admit that you fucked up. It's so fucking easy. It's just too easy. Not, I was just being a good guy and drinking with my players. Not, oh, I misspoke and overly confident. You were, but that's okay. We can fucking forgive that. Honestly, this is all a nothing story. You know why it's a story? Because you're just fucking doubling down, tripling down. Listen, Benji Gill, manager of Mexico, right? Been a manager for the last 15 years, one of the most winningest managers in Mexico. Nicaragua's manager, Dusty Baker, one of the greatest managers who ever lived. USA's manager, host on MLB Network. I'm not saying he can't do the job. I'm just saying, motherfucker, you've been working in sports media. You can't fucking work sports media.
I am so blown away by this. Like,
this is astonishing. This is just.
I want to start with. I agree with you on the thought of just go, hey guy, I blew it. Like, that's on me. I just blew it. But here's the thing. And I know a lot of people, you included, Deck, and I've seen people on the internet saying, just own the mistake and we'd all be okay. I would not be okay. You have to know. That doesn't, no, that's not okay. Like, all right.
I take it better than this. I hate this.
Listen, all right. If I'm driving to work and somebody runs a red light and they T-bone and total my car and they pop out and they go, hey, I didn't know I was supposed to stop at a red light. That's on me. I would still be furious, dude. I would not. How do you not know? It's literally like the most important thing when you're doing the thing.
You know what's funny? This isn't his first time managing this team or tournament. Like, he did the last one. Like,
yes. What are we like? What? No, just if he would have just said I made a mistake. No, screw that, dude. Listen, your job as the manager of this squad is to go win the tournament. Step one of winning the goddamn tournament is getting out of pool play and into the knockout round. If you don't know what you have to do the first thing you have to do, you're bad at the job. And that's okay. There's a lot of jobs I've tried that I was bad at and got told, hey, man, this isn't the job for you. And that's okay. But, like, no, that doesn't make it okay. Oh, he just made a mistake. You can't make that mistake. You can't do it. This is like, if it's game 7 of the World Series and he goes out there and makes this kind of mistake, but then he goes, hey, man, I just made a mistake. We would crucify that guy for making that caliber of mistake.
I know, I agree with you. But because the mistake was, and luckily, no harm, no foul, technically, they're moving on. They're in the elimination round. They're taking on Canada, which I can't wait to talk about that in a second. No harm, no foul. Fine. You just say, I fucked up, will not happen again. Because it wasn't game 7 of the World Series. They are still in this. We're fine. But I just hate the false narrative. What false fucking narrative? You said it. Your words. All we're doing is asking you about your words. Dude, motherfucker's been listening to Trump too much. Just like lying through his teeth.
Dude, it's just like the thought is, well, if he would have just admitted he made a mistake, no harm, no foul. No. Still harm, still foul. Because now I know that you can't get the most basic shit right. So what are we going to do if we get down the line And
Simple.
staring across from us is our new baseball arch rival, Japan, and we're getting into the 7th, the 8th. We got a 4-4 ball game. They're good. We're good. How am I supposed to trust that Mark DeRosa is going to get the basic shit right? Because he just showed me he can't do it. So, like, yes, harm, yes, foul. We got to stop with that narrative. I just need baseline competence for the job. I'm not saying, Dak, hang on. I'm not saying that if we get into a 4-4 game, bottom 7 versus Japan or the Dominican Republic, who's got a lineup that's like unbelievable, whatever. I'm not saying that if he makes a management mistake that leads to a run surrendered or failed, whatever, that's baseball. Every manager is going to make a mistake when they're managing a baseball game. But if you can't understand if X, then Y, and so we're going to throw Goldie and his 157 average against lefties out against the lefty, if we're just going to go, you know what? I know he hadn't been great. Let's take Cal Raleigh and his 60 home runs last season. Let's not play that guy. Let's go with Will Smith, who hasn't touched a baseball outside of spring training. Like, no, that is harm. That is foul. You got out of it by the hairy ass cheeks, DeRosa. But the reality is you and Cal and everybody, Deck and me, we were all sitting there the other night having to sweat out Team Italy versus Team Mexico. And here's the secret. We didn't have to be. I could have watched that game with a bottle of bourbon just because I effing love baseball. And instead, I'm sitting there with my butthole puckered up tight enough to make a diamond because you don't know X, then Y. I stop forgiving this like it's okay. It's not.
You know, now I'm thinking about it, maybe he is actually right. Hear me out on this. He just said, I'm getting tired of the false narratives. Maybe the false narrative is that there is no harm, no foul. Maybe I'm perpetuating the false narrative of giving him any semblance of the benefit of the doubt, which you're not wrong, Rob. He has not earned said semblance of the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a baseball guy and I'm just giving him some of it and I shouldn't be. Mark, you're a smart cat. We've met many times. You're a lovely guy. Just don't fuck this up anymore. Just how about that? How about this? Putting in Goldschmidt was an insane idea. Just an insane idea. You have Bryce Harper. That's an insane idea in 2026.
I want to be very clear. I don't dislike DeRosa. I don't have a problem. He seems like a perfectly nice guy. Seems like a guy I could get a beer and talk ball with. It's not a dislike. It is simply a matter of you have a job to do and you're not living up. Every single person at some point, whether it is as the employee or as a manager, in any position, every one of us is going to come across a situation where you're going to go, this sucks because I like this guy, but he just can't do the job. And you got to let go somebody that you like because I had to do that not terribly long ago. I had to let go of somebody that I like, that I consider a friend. That person will not talk to me anymore. And I understand it. But at the end of the day, my job was dictated by them doing their job, and they just could not do the job. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or dislike him. I got no problem with DeRosa as a guy. I don't know him from Adam, but I'm sure everybody I've talked to that interacts says he's a gem. That's awesome. Yeah. But at the end of the day, your job is to get the stars and stripes out of the pool and in a knockout round, and you almost pissed the bed and cost us that opportunity. Deck, this team not making it out of pool play would go down as one of the greatest disappointments in sports in modern memory. And it would have been over the dumbest decision possible. Like, what is that?
You're not wrong, but here we are in the elimination round. It starts tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Look right there. You got Dominican versus Korea. That is a hell of a matchup right out the gate. And then, of course, because this is how it's just been this last year, bro. U.S. versus Canada again. Bro, are we going to break Canada's heart again? Is it going to happen again? Multiple Stanley Cups in a row, the Olympics and hockey, the World Series last year. What else am I missing? U.S. versus Canada. Oh, what else? The curling in the Olympics, that controversy. Dude, it's been one after the other, and now we got WBC. Is tonight the night that Canada gets their revenge on the States?
Okay, so I want to start with the concept of the narrative, and let's be real. what would be more of an interesting narrative for the Canada-U.S. rivalry? And I do want to be very clear about one thing before I get there. I love Canada. Canada's amazing. They are not
Love
the 51st state. We need to shut the hell up. It's an amazing country, and I love everything about it. But that makes the rivalry great. My best rivalry is with my little brother, who I'd go to war for, but I want to beat his ass at Uno and Go Fish and Jenga and whatever else we happen to be playing, all right? The greatest narrative for sports, not for us, but for sports, would be we beat them for the gold medal in hockey at the Olympics, and they turn around and they beat us at our sport in the WBC. That would be a wonderful narrative. Here's the thing. Our players have this narrative going about them, which I said on Twitter the other day. Assembling the best players does not mean that you have assembled the best team, right? You might grab the greatest 9 baseball players on the planet. It does not mean that they will be the best team when you put them together. Canada in hockey arguably had a better team than we did, but the Americans gelled exceptionally well and came together to win the gold medal in the Olympics. These players have a challenge. They have a narrative out there, which is, yeah, we got 9 great players. We got 15 great players on this roster, but it's not a great baseball team. Deck, the narrative for Team USA is to prove that they are actually a great baseball team that gelled. And more importantly, now the narrative is they've got to do it despite a manager who is put very loudly into the public eye that he doesn't understand the rules of the game. And the question mark for me is, can Team USA stare that narrative in the face and actually become the unit we need them to be and wake up the bats in inning 1 instead of waiting until inning 7 when we're all getting sweaty on the couch?
By the way, I got a question for you because I am currently in Los Angeles, California. I cannot place a bet on this, but Swaggy, McNolegs, and a few other people, Terry, they're getting plus 550 and plus 500 right out the gate on Team Canada. Dude, you're giving me 5-1 odds on Canada in this game. That's worth a stab for me. Are we pretending Canada's bad? Because they are not. They are quite good.
I think that's one of the other things about this tournament that's been so interesting, Deck, is like we have this perspective as Americans. I think you mentioned earlier, does representing the U.S. represent arrogance? Yeah, it does a little bit. Like, I think we have this thought that this is our sport. And we got Judge, and we got Raleigh, and we got Skeens, and we got, and we're just going to go out there and steamroll. But the teams that are in the most danger are the teams that go in anti-Han Solo, and they do get cocky, kid. Those teams go in there like that, like we're just going to roll the head. Alabama football did that a couple of times, and all of a sudden, look at where that football program is. It happens. You just roll the hat out there, and you expect them to lay over. Buddy, the folks on Team Canada, if they win this game, even if they don't win the WBC, they're going to be talking about that win in Canada for a long-ass time, just like we are about the gold medal game in the Olympics a couple of months ago. If the Dominican Republic, if Japan, any country takes us down at our game in this international event, they're going to talk about it forever. So I need Team USA to know, you step on the field, whether it's in the quarter, the semi, or the final game, I don't care who's lined up across from you. It is their opportunity to make a story they will tell their grandkids about down the line. And you have one option to stop it, which is go out there and be the better baseball team. And to be honest, Deck, I don't think we have seen a game yet in the WBC where Team USA has played a great team game. We've seen a lot of great individual games here and there.
Moments.
We have not seen Bobby Witt Jr. bailed our ass out the other
Big
night.
time.
We have
Big time.
We've not seen a great team game, and that has to change now.
Yeah. If it weren't for Bobby, no question, USA would have lost that game. All right, guys, we went way long on WBC, but that's not a bad thing because we love us some WBC. So let's go over. No Shane, no problem. It's time for some quick hitters. We're going to keep it very simple today, my guy. Just about a couple of questions here, but go as far or as long as you'd like on each one. I want to get the actual answer. So question number 1 on today's quick hitters. What's something that you had a bad experience with that you've never returned to? I have like 3 real examples for this one. I'll start with one of them. Jaeger. I was 21 years old. I had a whole night drinking Jaeger bombs with a girl that was like a girl that I've known since we were little kids. It was my dream my entire life to finally get with this girl. And we went out and we drank like crazy. And we decided tonight, it was Christmas Eve. We decided early on before the night began, this is the night that you and I are going to go home together. We drank roughly 25 Jaeger bombs as the night went forward. I don't know what to tell you other than there is no amount of anything that could have gotten your boy going for any type of sexual escapade that evening. We looked at each other and said, you know what? That's fine. We're both drunk. Let's just wait till the morning. We did. We were very hungover. It didn't happen. I thought in my head, don't worry, it'll happen someday. It has been 19 years since that happened, and that someday never came, Rob Brown. I hate you, Jaeger. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me. You destroyed a young 21-year-old Cody Decker and put him in a situation he's never been in before or since. And I can't stress this enough. I hate you, Jaeger, for what you did to your boy. You ruined me. You ruined me. That lovely, lovely girl ended up coming out as gay a couple years later, so my shot was really ruined later on.
Decker and I have been broadcasting together a long time, and the reason we've become friends is sometimes we have these little stories. Decker, the answer to me, and I've got two of them for you. The first one I was going to give you is a liquor. It's Goldschlager, and the reason why is because a 26-year-old Rob Brown decided to return one night to the great city of Tallahassee, Florida, and his alumni, Florida State University. It was homecoming weekend, and your boy made his way back to the house of Tau Kappa Epsilon, his fraternity back in the day. And when he got there, what he found out was that attending homecoming was a young lady that he chased around Florida State University when he was a dumb college kid. Now at 25, I was a gentleman and a smart older man. And me and one of the fraternity brothers and this girl and one of her sisters decided we were all going to start drinking together for a 7 p.m. kickoff at 10 a.m. because I still thought I had that dog in me. And me and my buddy polished off a bottle of Goldschlager. Suffice to say, we did not make it to the football game. Instead, quite the opposite. That young lady came back from the football game to find out that your boy kicked open the door to the room of one of my fraternity's pledges that year, dragged his mattress into the front yard of the fraternity house, and went to sleep at 6:30 in the evening, drunk off his ass on Goldschlager. If I smell it now, I vomit. Goldschlager is the devil's urination, and I will never go back.
By the way, you want the other thing that I haven't touched, I haven't gone back to?
Yep, sure do.
And you'll know the answer because you did this with me. I have not had a chicken McNugget in 2 years, and that streak is staying alive, baby. And I love chicken McNuggets. I just can't look at them, smell them, or know they exist anymore because, Rob Brown, what did you and me do fucking foolishly during a 4-hour show once?
Back in the day when Decker and I did the show Bet for the Cycle, we had a game that we liked to play every week, Parlay v. Parlay, where Cody Decker and myself built a 3-leg parlay, and our production staff built a 3-leg parlay. And if one team hit all three and the other team did not, then they had to take on some form of punishment. We did some fun stuff. We made our young, dumb producer go out to a very nice steakhouse in Indianapolis in full The Crow makeup. He did it himself. He looked like shit, and it was hilarious.
Awful.
Decker and I had to wax body parts live on the air. I allowed my wife to wax one of my legs. It was the worst thing that I've ever done. One of the bets we lost was that over the span of 4 hours, Decker and I had to knock down 75 chicken nuggets over the course of the show. We did that. Decker, and I use this phrase not metaphorically for comedy. I mean it literally. Decker almost died because you can see him on the video. He's young, but he's in shape. He takes care of himself. I'm a fat piece of trash. I had cake that night after 75.
Bro.
This man texted me 2 days later and goes, I'm sweating, but it's not water. It's just literal salt crystals pouring out of my pores at this point.
All right, I want to make this abundantly clear. I was bedridden for roughly 2 days after this. I didn't get out of bed till Monday morning when I had to go to Sirius XM to go on the air. I was sick, and the reason I was sick, and I'm looking this up right now, how much sodium is in 75 chicken McNuggets? I remember looking at the roughly 6,721 milligrams of chicken nuggets. What is how much sodium should a human have in a day? It is suggesting roughly that one should have 1,500. So I times that with that 4-hour excursion of 75 chicken nuggets by 6. Anyways, I was sweating full salt crystals on my scalp. Like I could literally just pull off in like Himalayan salt. That's how sick I was. I was shivering for days. Oh, Rob Brown. Worst thing we have ever done on that show was the chicken McNuggets. All right, next question. If there was a sport.
Wait. Deck. May I add one more? May I add one more, please?
Yes.
The city of Philadelphia. I came to visit you about 15 years ago for an Army-Navy game. Your city's beautiful. Rob Brown's a history nerd, Revolutionary War history specifically. I went to the city of Philadelphia thinking I'm going to do some history. I'll go see the Liberty Bell. I'll go see the Betsy Ross home. I'll do the Revolutionary. And then I'm going to go see a football game, have a good time. Mm-hmm. I made it to downtown Philadelphia for approximately 4 hours before I realized the overwhelming majority of people here are assholes, and I'm never coming back, and I have not been back since. New York City is a shining jewel of kindness and compassion next to the city of Philadelphia. No, never again. Never again, Philly. Your cheesesteaks are amazing. The problem is I have to talk to you to get them, and I'm not doing it.
Can't wait. Next week, I got to get my hands on Tyrone and Shane, and of course, Rob in one show. We need Rob Brown, Tyrone Johnson, and me so we can have ourselves a South Carolina, Los Angeles, and Philly meetup, because there is a part of that he would actually partially agree with you on. All right, question number 2. Is there a sport that you, Rob Brown, need to get into more?
There is. Lacrosse. I have tried to get into lacrosse. I have. I've got friends of mine that play it here, and the folks who love lacrosse, they absolutely love lacrosse. There's not many sports I don't get into. Big curling guy, not even like just the Olympic guy. Like I enjoy curling. I have tried to get into lacrosse, and I've said for a very long time, it feels like as long as you don't mind getting hit with a stick, you'd be good at lacrosse, right? Like it's supposed to be hockey, whatever. It feels like if you hit me with a stick, whatever. That being said, I don't understand the sport. I'm trying my best to understand the sport. I haven't gotten it yet. What I can say is this. I've gone to a couple of lacrosse games in an effort to try to get the game. People at lacrosse games are insane, brother. It's like if a college football tailgate was the feature and the game just happened around it. These people are hammering brewskis like they are paid to do so. The party culture around the game of lacrosse, from what I've been able to figure out in a very short time, unparalleled. If I ever figure out the sport of lacrosse, your boy may just take up residence as a lacrosse field, because it seems like an unbelievable environment at all of them. Deck, I have got to figure out the game of lacrosse, and nobody's been able to get it into my thick skull yet.
This will surprise you. I want to get into American soccer. And the reason why, because I'm already into English Premier League. I'm a Man City. I am a Man U fan, but like it's hard for me to get into multiple leagues. And here's why I really, really want to get into MLS soccer. LAFC is kind of a hot ticket out here, man. And I want to start going to some LAFC games. And that's apparently, not to mention that, the Angels is a hot ticket out here as well in the women's league. I think it's time for me to finally give American soccer a chance.
You guys remember that show that we were talking about earlier that Decker and I did for 4.5 years? I spent 3.5 years trying to get Deck's ass onto American soccer. I spent 3.5 years telling this bitch how great American soccer is and how we should get on board. And he spent 3.5 years telling me I was an idiot and it was never going to happen. Now I just show up.
You were an idiot, and it was never going to happen.
Randomly on a friggin' Friday in March in 2026, 4 years after I started this conquest, all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I decided all by myself with no inspiration from any of my dear friends. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I fucking stand by it. I stand by it. Stand by it wholeheartedly. You didn't sell it to me well enough, Rob. That's on you.
Decker, you know what? I shan't dignify this with a response any further. Everyone who watched that show knows I was right then and I'm right now, and it's you coming around to me, not the other way around.
I want to make this abundantly clear. No one watched the show except for people that worked at the company because no one knew the show was fucking there. They didn't promote it, so you and I didn't even promote it.
We knew the show happened. We didn't have any idea where it was brought. They could have spent 4 years broadcasting that show to nobody, and Decker and I would not be any the wiser.
It was an ongoing, not even joke. It was an ongoing segment where we said, and we are, of course, live through the millions of Odyssey stations. We didn't know a single station we were on at any given moment, but we were just told,
we were not even on my own station that I actually worked for at the time. We weren't even on my station at that point.
I loved it. Every once in a while, Mario would be like, hey, by the way, we're live on 670 The Score. I'm like, when did that happen? And they're like, oh, apparently the last hour. I'm like, was anyone going to let us know? And then I'm like, are we still on 670 The Score? And like, no. I'm like, when did that happen? Like, where are we? Who knows? What is this? Man, that was an interesting network, dude. But listen, if nothing else, we worked with great, really good people. All right, Rob Brown, last question. If you can have anyone's superhero ability, that does not mean you can just pick one superhero power because superheroes often have more than one power. If you could have any one particular superhero's ability or villain ability, what superhero's ability would you like to have? I will go first because I've never been quiet. That I think the best character of all time is Green Lantern. And yes, we will talk about it later because Daddy's got a reflection. I love the Green Lantern's power set. It's a ridiculous power set because you know how everyone says, well, Superman's too overpowered. No. Green Lantern is too overpowered. That ring does literally anything. You fly, gives you super strength. Gives you the ability to understand any language. It's a computer, an intergalactic computer that tells you anything you need to know. It's a personal assistant. It helps you get across the galaxy quickly. Like it's such a ridiculous power that I love it so much. And not to mention on that, it's the only superhero that I know of that is creative. And here's what I mean by that. Because you can create any construct out of that ring to fight anybody in any particular way. It's a literal, if you're a creative person, this is a dream for you. I need to get out of this situation. Sweet. I'm going to create a dinosaur that I'm going to create a rancor that I'm going to run away on and ride on the back of as if it's a horse. Like you could just do that. Oh, look, this car is coming. Oh, I can just build a wall in front of it immediately. Just if I think about it, that is really cool. Everything about the Green Lantern is just so cool. Then you add the whole Green Lantern core to it and the mythos. Dude, I would love to have a Green Lantern power ring.
I like that one, Deck. I like that one a lot. I knew you were going to go there, and it's a great call. The only problem is, what happens if you turn into DeRosa and you get into a tight spot and your brain just shuts off and Tyler, you're effed, buddy. Like you've never been in a spot where you were like, because I have all the time. So it wouldn't do me any good because when I need the ring the most, I'd turn into a complete dumbass and wouldn't just have the ability to fix a situation. So I'm going to go a different direction.
There is a prerequisite. If you're a Green Lantern, you have to be really good at putting together IKEA furniture.
So I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to go with Professor Charles Xavier. Because I was sitting here thinking, like, what's the list of people that Professor X could not just mentally take over and bend to the will? We know Magneto because of the helmet. We know Juggernaut because of his helmet. He was able to, on a couple of occasions, control Victor Von Doom, who is arguably the biggest baddie in the entire MCU. And I'm talking about the movies. I'm talking about in the comic book world. Couldn't get to Deadpool. Could get to Wolverine, but unless Wolverine was going full animal. Onslaught, Jean Grey, only with the Phoenix Force. Cassandra Nova, but that's only because as a sister, equal power level. Point is, those things in the real world, those people aren't that. You understand how great it would be for me to be able to just sit back in a chair, see Elon Musk weird ass on TV, put my hands to my head and go, you're going to use your billions and billions to solve world hunger. And then it just happens. Like, that man has the power to solve world hunger and still have billions left over, and he just won't do it. If I could just go, I'm not asking you to give all your money away, Elon. I'm just saying, fix world hunger, and it's done. Every time somewhere somebody's about to push the button that says, hey, what if we drop missiles over there, I could just go, yeah, what if we don't? What if we don't do that? What if we just, I don't know, build some houses for homeless people? And that's solved. Like, the world is perfection if they only just let me be in charge like Charles Xavier. Deck, that's my answer.
I love that. I love that. And a close second for me, believe it or not, it's Magneto. I would love to be Magneto. Magneto is like, you kidding me? Magnetism, that just ridiculous power, even though it sounds so simple, makes you arguably the most powerful being on this planet. It's astonishing. Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, let's get back over to the sports of it all. Let's talk about it real quick because we are in the midst of free agent frenzy. A lot of moves have happened, even moves today, but let's just talk about the most splashy of the day and a half. Congratulations, Kyler Murray. You have a home. It's Minnesota. But my question for you, Rob Brown, does this move actually make sense to you? And let me start where it does make sense to me. We've seen quarterbacks go to this system and become something better than they already were. You take a guy like Sam Darnold, you ask around the league, we would always have Colin Thompson on the show. He played with him over there in North Carolina. He would always say, no, he's a dog. Wait till you guys actually see him play. When it got announced that he was going to be starting for the Vikings, he's like, no, you don't understand. Sam Darnold's a guy. You just all don't know it yet. Like, you just don't know it. And he was dead right. And we saw Daniel Jones go over there, and Colin Thompson comes back on the show and says, watch out for Daniel Jones next week. And we just stopped and like, what? Daniel Jones next year to where? He's like, it doesn't matter. He's going to learn more in this month and a half after being released from the Giants in that system in Minnesota. He's going to go somewhere and be a dude. We laughed at that. And then he did exactly that. Now he's got a 2-year, $100 million deal out of that 8 great games that he played. If Kyler can stay healthy, we know the talent skill set that this guy has. He was a first pick in the NFL. He was a first rounder in the Major League Baseball draft. He's an off the charts athlete. You put him in this system and maybe you just struck serious gold.
I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too, because I'd love to see it.
So would I. Here's what I know. What I know is Sam Darnold, Danny Dimes, I would go one step further and argue Baker Mayfield and a couple of others are evident proof of something that I have said about the NFL for a very long time, Deck. Sometimes when there's a franchise quarterback that fails, sometimes we got to blame the franchise and not the quarterback. How many times have we said, oh, that new franchise quarterback wasn't the franchise quarterback? Yeah, it's because the franchise is ass-tastic. The Jets, the Carolina Panthers, these are franchises that historically have been bad franchises. And yet, when a new quarterback shows up there, especially a young, fresh-faced young man trying to, figure out not just the playbook, not just the offense, but figure out how the NFL works as a whole, and he goes to a place that historically has been an ass-tastic, fantastic franchise. Why are we shocked when they fail? And more importantly, why are we shocked when they go somewhere else and do not fail? Guys don't become first and second round NFL draft picks because they're bad at it. They're first and second round NFL draft picks because they got some dog in them. And that's not to say they're all going to be Hall of Famers, but they're better than Sam Darnold was when he was seeing ghost. They're better than Baker Mayfield was when he was throwing to quick, name that very average Carolina Panther wide receiver when he was there, right? We got to start blaming franchises for the failure of franchise quarterbacks. And here's the deal. Where Kyler Murray is going has now taken a few failures at quarterback and sent them on to multi-million big-time dollar contracts somewhere else because of their success there. I'm frankly pulling for Kyler because I genuinely don't know if he had the tools and, more importantly, the support system in Arizona to ever actually succeed. If he can do it, though, as we have seen now with a bunch of quarterbacks back to back, if anywhere can be done, it will be in Minnesota. That being said, I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy, so he's going to get his chance.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. All right, we're going to get ready to wrap up here, but first, let's go ahead and shiggle. All right, Rob Brown, what are you shiggling on today? Or would you like me to go first?
I will follow your lead. It is your show, and I believe in you, Cody Decker.
Okay. This one's an interesting one. What am I shitting giggling about? I'm shitting giggling about Steven Spielberg. And why am I shits and giggling about Steven Spielberg? Because he's got a new movie coming out. And this new movie of his, normally when Steven Spielberg has a movie coming out, you're seeing trailers, you're seeing write-ups, it's an event. You're always getting ready. Either it's going to be an award season movie or it's going to be a big splashy events movie of the summer. And we haven't really seen a big splashy event movie of the summer from Steven Spielberg. And God, I don't remember how long. I'm literally thinking back in my head. I feel like all his last movies were all these slow-paced dramas like The Post or like the movie about his childhood where he was trying to talk his love of cinema. He's got a movie coming out called Disclosure Day. And here's why it's interesting. It's not just that I've seen the trailer and the movie explains almost nothing. I think that's on purpose because I think I figured out, and I think a few internet sleuths have figured out what Disclosure Day actually is. Disclosure Day is not actually a new movie called Disclosure Day. Could it be that Steven Spielberg has just given us a sequel to one of his greatest movies of all time? Is it possible that Disclosure Day is actually a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I feel so vindicated now because I said the same thing to my wife. I'm like, I don't know enough yet, but this feels like it could be Close Encounter-y. So I feel so vindicated right now. Decker, thank you.
I really hope it is. I really, because you're telling me you wouldn't like to see a movie of that substance again from Steven. We haven't watched a movie of like real substance from, and that's not a knock on his most recent movies. The movie about him as a kid, the scene that he did with David Lynch is one of the best scenes like he's directed in a while, where he's yelling at the kid about where the horizon is. Great stuff. But if you're telling me we're getting back to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg, you bet your ass I'm signing up for that Steven Spielberg movie.
Same. That's all I got. Same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing this in there because I know what the shiggle concept is. Deck, you ever been so mad that it becomes funny to you? You ever been so mad that you have to laugh because the only other option is like punching a hole in the wall? You know that feeling?
Yeah, I was married.
Okay, fair enough. So I am dying laughing after we had a college basketball team in a mid-major conference go 31-0 and then lose in their conference tournament. And the conversation is, does that basketball team deserve to go dancing? Now, the conversation really is, does that conference as a mid-major deserve 2 bids because the team went 31-0 but lost in the conference tournament? And here's the thing, Dak, I've been asking around. Literally 0 people that I know have said no. Not one person. Now, the team does have 0 quadrant 1 wins, 0 quadrant 2 wins. There's not really a punch on the resume that you go, that was a great win. They got a lot of, and there were some really close ones. They lost a couple of games down the stretch that were very close basketball games. I still don't know a single person who has said that team doesn't go in. And yet, they're being talked about as a first 4 out. They're being talked about as a bubble team. And what some of you guys don't understand, when you go, why? The answer is for this reason. Because they know it's going to get us talking about it. Because they know it's going to become, until Selection Sunday next weekend, the most hot button discussion that we are going to talk about in college basketball. Because they know it's going to drive conversation. I love the fact that what sports media is doing to ruin sports media, i.e. the Hot Take Express, and generating drama where there absolutely is and should not be any, because you clowns keep falling for it over and over. I've hit the point, Deck, especially somebody who is now not entirely, but largely out of sports broadcasting. I have hit the point now where I'm past rage and I've circled back around to comedy. That y'all keep falling for the same old bullcrap over and over and over, and it prevents good people in media, guys that you would actually like, from ever getting ahead because they refuse to participate in the bullcrap. And here we are.
Yeah, listen, that's what my other show, of course, which of course we're doing tonight, The Regulars, is kind of all about. It's about time that more people in the sports media industry start calling out the sports media industry. And that's not just people being journalists and calling out journalists. Yeah, we need to call that out as well. But I'm talking, we need to get back to a semblance of not even realism. We need to get back to a semblance of God, just cooperation, if nothing else. The hot take machine that has taken place in the sports media world, it's fucking embarrassing. It's not just kind of embarrassing. It's just nonsense. And now you're watching the same morons who don't do research and don't try at all at what they do, try very hard to get into politics and try to do the exact same bullshit spin that they've been doing to sports for years. It's just where this industry is right now is atrocious. Where it's going has the opportunity to get even worse. Luckily, you got guys like Rob Brown. You got guys like me. You got people like Tanya Ray Fox. You got people like Pablo Torre. You got people out there who are definitely going to be holding this industry's feet to the fire and will continue to do so. I'm just looking forward to more of them doing so.
I do too, and I would like to add one more thought onto that. To those of you that are watching and you go, I like these guys or Tanya or Pablo or whoever because they don't do that. You have to stop putting eyes and clicks. When you get a guy like Mr. I know everybody personally, and you know who I'm talking about, though I shan't say his name. It's rule one of mine.
Stephen A. Smith sucks. He's bad at everything.
Okay, Cody will say his name. You get it. When you retweet
fucking five head.
When you retweet that guy or reply to the guy, you think you're dunking on him. You think you're making him look silly. You don't understand. At the end of the day, they print out a computer report, and all that report says is this guy had this many interactions today, this many clicks, likes, favorites, retweets, quote tweets. And as long as that number is going up, he's going to keep getting paid, and guys like me and Deck ain't. So the reality of the situation is if you want that stuff to stop, you got to stop interacting. You're not dunking on the guy. You're getting him paid, bruh.
Let's go ahead and finish up right here. Let's reflect. Rob Brown, here's what I'm reflecting on today. One, another great show with you. I love just shooting. We had other things in the rundown we couldn't even get to. You know why? Because Rob Brown and I just know how to talk to each other, talk all day, talk all night. It's just our thing. We love doing it. Rob Brown, I love any chance I get to work with you. One of the greatest people I've ever worked with. And I mean that. I've been very lucky. I've been working with some amazing people. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Michelle Beadle is one of the greatest people I've ever known. And I've been so ungodly lucky to work with her these last 3 years. Craig Carton is one of my best friends in the world. I am so lucky I've gotten a chance to work with him over these years. Everyone at Emily Network, like I've been very lucky in this industry. And Rob, the reason why I'm lucky in this industry is not that I've just gotten to work with people. It's that I've continued to be friends with a lot of these people like you. This industry needs more people like you, like Michelle Beadle, like Tanya Ray Fox, like good people that honestly are just trying to make sports and the world better. And I don't think we get enough of that, Rob. And you are very much at the top of that list is on my book, my guy. And I can't wait to do this again with you soon, man.
Buddy, the pleasure is mine. You didn't need to say all that, but America, every word he said is true. I am amazing, and I am trying to make the world a better place. So thanks.
Yes.
Y'all, I love Cody Decker. He's an amazing dude. I've had this dude. Like I said, I invited him to my wedding. It was a small wedding. He got the cut. Like, that's how much I love Cody Decker. So I will come back at any point in time that you guys need me. I know baseball season, we're getting underway, and what are we sitting at? 12 more days until opening Yankees Giants, and then we got everybody else lined up after that. I don't expect that I will be back more often once baseball season starts. I demand that I be back more often once baseball season starts. So look forward to that. And also, just know the rules, DeRosa. Just know the rules. I just need you to know the basic rules, for God's sake, man.
Just somebody tell DeRosa the rules. It's that simple. Guys, this has been This has been Beadle and Decker. We'll be back on Monday. Who is co-hosting and sitting in from a show on Monday? The truth is, I don't know yet, so it's gonna.
I bet they know the rules.
All right, guys, that's it for us today. Check us out online, of course, at Beadle and Decker on Instagram, and get us wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube. And thanks for joining us, Rob Brown, myself, and all of you. And most importantly, if there's one thing I can leave you with as a person, as a human, as somebody who cares about their fellow man, R.I.P. Estelle Getty.